Welcome back, friends. Last guy here. Time for another 40-ish minutes of Greatest Attorney Voice LP. Here we go. 1st of November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. I assume the judge is going to be there. You've made good time. Who's this? I think it's going to be some random. I took an express train back to London. Who's it actually? I can hear Lord Strongheart. Can you? Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone. Oh! Oh, we're gonna take on Ryunosuke, that makes sense. Is everything in place? Alright, so Ryunosuke was the freaking sedan voice. Let's see here. I had a private compartment on the train, so I could check all the paperwork. It's... Kazuma-sama. Ah, your timing's impeccable. It is? No doubt you have heard the sickening news. About the Reaper's latest devilry? Yes. I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Von Zieks could have done such a thing to the Inspector Gregson? I believe only in the facts. And the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accusal of Lord Von Zieks for this crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective. Oh no, surely not. It is a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. At the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system's swift and equitable processes. But does that mean the trial is tomorrow? Precisely. In fact, it is a fine opportunity for introductions. Kazuma. Ah, but of course, you're already acquainted, aren't you? It's weird for him to say that when you think about it. Mr. Sogi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings, leading the prosecution. Wait, what? Kazuma? As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of the law. Kazuma-sama? A prosecutor? He wanted to be a defense lawyer, not a prosecutor. But now, I guess his dad broke him? I can only assume his dad broke him. Look at the man. I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be alright now. Has your memory completely returned? Yes, completely. I remember everything. Including what I was coming here to do. Right. Kazuma-sama, I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia? It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over again. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. It was that voice that guided me here to London. I'm so sorry for what's happened. Anyway, my memory might have returned to me, but there's something that won't return to the way it was before. Huh? What do you mean? I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. Alright, now we talk to Strongheart. Converse. Tomorrow's trial. I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no, People all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds. There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey. And now, the Reaper himself must stand in the dock. Quite so. The public want answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped a conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths. Yeah, it'd be good to get the truth of that coming out, right? Really curious about that one. But Lord Von Zieks firmly denies any involvement in such matters. He's just a scapegoat, or there's a Phantom of the court kind of style going on here, like Phantom of the Opera. And there have been thorough investigations. Oh, that's how you spell thorough? I always put a U there. And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent. That's certainly true, or it has been at least until now. Huh? No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history. Alright, next one. So, Kazuma will be prosecuting tomorrow? That's right. But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart. Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. Huh? And imagine what it will mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree? Absolutely. I've no doubt at all that Kazuma would be razor sharp as a prosecutor, but he has not seen Ryunosuke do anything since the last one and the first case. Everything else this guy's never seen, so Ryunosuke's got some things on him. But why Kazuma-sama? There are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain. It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial. You asked for this? But why? It'll all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation. I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact. You are quite right, Miss Mikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as a judiciary closing ranks. So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution. Word that better, because that was a question, not a... So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution? Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed. After practicing law in this land for so many months. You haven't done a single case. Kazuma, you haven't done a single case. Although he's supposed to be brilliant, so... Kazuma, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't going to end well, my friend. What does it mean? Do you think because you're going to whip his ass? Or because you think he's going to be pretty rough with you? Alright, the killer's gun. Oh yes, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Von Zieks? That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene. Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask somebody higher up who might know. That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct. It's certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine. I don't see Von Zieks not being a sword guy only kind of guy, right? Like, in that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim. No, Gregson had his gun on his person. What about Lord Von Zieks? He claims it's currently not in his possession. What? According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious. But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant's is no proof that it's actually his. No, of course not. Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Von Zieks. It doesn't look like we're going to glean much more from here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart. Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our Empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery. What does that mean? Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Oh, Kazuma. Before you go, Ryunosuke. Oh, what is it, Kazuma? I just wanted to thank you. Kazuma-sama, what? You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection. You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Miss Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you. Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here. Oh? Figure out where his dad was? I actually have a favor to ask. Which is? This trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me, as the defense counsel. Huh? Why? What's this all about? I know you have what it takes. But Lord Von Zieks would never put his fate in my hands. On the contrary, he recognizes your talent. He does? It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this. There's his brother? Oh my god, he's smiling! That's Lord Von Zieks, Inspector Gregson. And a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of it. And who's the third person? So that's the brother who died? It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office. In Gregson's office, you mean? Yes, what I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it. Oh, we need this to get his attention. Alright. It was in Gregson's office. I don't understand. Why are you giving me this? Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over. What are you doing, Kazuma? He needs us to be the defense. That's what he's doing. Alright. Get a move on, Leodag. Okay, we're going to prison now? What are we going to do with that one guy, huh? 1st November, local prison, cell number 1. Lord Von Zieks is still reading that letter. We've been gone quite some time, though. Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. I might even be able to read English faster than he can. The hell did you say? I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese. Oh! Sorry, I didn't think you'd hear that. I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time. Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow. Which is none of your business. So, have you found a lawyer? How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you. In other words, no. We were just talking to Lord Strongheart and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided. I'd expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is. It's going to be Kazuma Asogi. Huh? Asogi? You know, going to jail by the son of the guy who murdered your brother is kind of effed up, right? Like, they made the color drain from his face. Well then. It seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. Let's talk to him, then we'll present the picture. Asogi! 10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name Asogi. Genshin Asogi was Kazuma-sama's father. So what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? This man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court? I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you. It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset. But what could he have been hoping to achieve? Now let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to somebody like that? Asogi. That name was the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you Nipponese. Right, your hatred of all us Japanese. The Nipponese bane. I'd only just been appointed as a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer. The so-called professor. Assigned to the investigation as his partner was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard. And that was Genshin Asogi? Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, any semblance of right prevailing over wrong. Oh, how awful. I'm really curious if we're going to find out that the professor was not the killer. To avenge my brother, I prosecuted Asogi's trial. He wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented. What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor? The man in charge of the professor case inquiry, Lord Mail Strongheart. Wait, what? Lord Strongheart? He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the only one person to whom I've felt indebted. I'm sure he must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor. Anyway, time passed, but then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? Ah! And of all things, as a lawyer. I felt your animosity this first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese. I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for so many years, that hatred had festered inside me. I could no longer control it. And I can understand why now, and I know the history, after all. But in the same way that I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life, to Kazuma Asogi, I am the bane of his. The Reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in the court tomorrow. Huh. Inspector Gregson. Gregson's transfer to the Paris Police Prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month. But he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he? I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean? It's the first time I've ever encountered it. Oh! The Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place. It sounds like that mystery has even the Reaper perplexed. I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard? Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself, by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life was taken, the inspectors pushed for a full autopsy. Oh my, 10 years ago? Why is that so surprising? Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time, and rarely performed. Makes sense! And my brother was of course a noble. That made the idea of him even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined that it was necessary. His powerful conviction somehow could influence the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death. So you must have had great confidence in the Inspector's abilities, then. And it's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life. I don't have confidence in anyone. Oh! And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way. I've no doubt he thought of me only as the ominous Reaper, just like the rest of London. We have a picture to prove otherwise. What really went on between Lord Von Zieks and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of the relationship? We have it, but let's do the gun. How about the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene? Ah yes, that's not mine. Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is. What do you expect me to say to that? Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm. As embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true. When did you lose it then? That, I don't know. He's a sword guy! Oh! I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps. You have something in common with Lord Von Zieks after all, Miss Naruto. A talent for misplacing things. No, that has nothing to do with me! Don't drag me into this! Don't make the mistake of associating me with this Nipponese. Oh dear. The rift is very wide, isn't it? So it's not decisive evidence, clearly. But it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Now we give him the picture. Present. Lord Von Zieks, we came by this old photograph. Huh? Where did you get that? It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost. Is the man on the left there? Yes, that's my brother, Clint. Alright, so just... Alright, I gotta add because it's Clint. Alright. It had to be a really. Yeah, right? Come on. Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know? Were you aware of that? Respect? That's nonsense. No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gina Lestrade, no less. Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you. I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle. An insight into the true nature of this man known to all as the Stone Cold Reaper at the Bailey. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh! That's the first time he's ever used my actual name. I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. But there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. What's that? That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth. Lord Von Zeeks! From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now. I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here's a loathsome Nipponese, who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. Wow! Wow, that's really annoying him. So racist. There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother Clint, and Genshin Asogi. The man he idolized and the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way. When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me. You mean this photograph? Back then I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I look to the future with hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I've sunk myself makes it almost impossible to breathe. I'm so sorry. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me? Of course I will. It would be an honor. I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo. Then my life is in your hands. For Lord Von Zeeks, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask. Which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow in the Old Bailey, against my old friend, Kazuma. Yep, to be continued. Oh, it's way too early to stop. Way too early to stop. Okay, so we gotta keep going here. Like, maybe the stopping point will be right before we do a witness, so it'll be all the setup first. Got time for that, I think. Yeah. 2nd of November, 8:56 a.m., the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. There's that old familiar feeling again. The crushing pressure of this historic courthouse. Actually, no. It's a little different today. There's an even more menacing tension in the air. He's right there. Oh, the shoulder first. There's a menacing tension in the air here today, isn't there? I suppose. Yes, I think so. Because he's right here. It can only be the result of the menacing appearance of the defendant. A little more courtesy, if you please. Oh my, I do apologize. However, You're certainly not mistaken that this trial is far from ordinary. What do you mean? I'm not privy to the details, however. I understand that no jury has been selected. A trial without a jury? Well, that's just like the trial of the professor 10 years ago. A closed court. Good morning, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes! Have you made note of my hair, Mr. Naruto? An outright victory for science, you must agree. To be perfectly honest, so much happened yesterday that, well, I completely forgot about your little hair problem. What to one man is a little hair problem, is to another a day of drinking dubious potion after dubious potion. You have no idea how my stomach ails me this morning. The voice is a little different right now, my throat's not working correctly. Oh dear, how awful for you. I'm afraid you only have yourself to blame, Mr. Sholmes. I know the touchdown for this one. Mr. Naruto. Good morning to you, Mr. Reaper. I'm delighted to see you looking so full of vim. Yeah, the voice ain't there. I see London's celebrated great detective is as active as ever. Oh, you exaggerate, my dear fellow. Compared to my paltry engagements with a few trivial cases, the Reaper's overbearing presence is a far greater deterrent to the black roots of crime in our capital. There's like something in my throat that's preventing me from getting into the Sherlock Holmes voice. And so it's developing to something else. Oh, I know what I did. I had cereal. Milk, that's what's causing these voice changes. And whilst I may not agree with your methods, there is at least one point on which I would readily commend you. What an honor. And that would be the eye for a good lawyer, sir. Mr. Sholmes! After all, behind this lawyer there is a very great mind, my own. What are you trying to say? I wish only to say that you should be prepared for quite a trial, Mr. Reaper. Sorry to barge in. Yep, that's so. Sorry to barge in. Gina! What's that on her arm? It's a morning band, I suppose. Father, shouldn't you be at the symposium? It's been postponed, so I have some free time. I decided to come along with the police inspector to see our country's up-and-coming student in action. I shall be very interested to see the fruits of your studies over the past year. Well, it's an honor to have you here. Let's hope there are some fruits to see. Odo. Oh, yes, Gina? Why do you agree to this, eh? Why do you take him on? Huh? This Reaper bloke. Everyone says it was him what? What killed the boss? I'm sorry, Gina, but I just don't believe that. Well, if it weren't him, who was it? I don't know that, yet. I don't care who calls him what. The Reaper is just a name. He's just a person at the end of the day. Look, I got a little Jamaican. And if it turns out it was him what killed the boss, then God help him. Fiery eyes indeed. Yes, the culprit deserves every ounce of your loathing. At least, that may be some solace to the deceased. Please, Odo. Get whoever did this for the boss. Oh, Gina. I ain't feeling this useless, but there's nothing I can do. You've got to find who done this and make the rich pay. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court will be in session shortly. Make your way into the courtroom at once, please. Alright then, here we go. So are we doing judge only, or is it going to be a weird jury? It's time, Miss Naruto. Lord Von Zeeks. Okay. One who lost his treasured brother to a mass murderer. One who lost his treasured father in a foreign court of law. And one who lost the man who helped her escape destitution. All that misfortune, all that pain, on course to collide headlong in this trial. It's time to shine a light on all these dark events. And whatever truth is revealed, we're going to have to look it straight in the eye. November, 9:20 a.m., the Old Bailey's courtroom. Do a little more. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I mean, I'll do this voice at least. We are here to conduct a fair and just trial of the defendant Barock von Zeeks. Counsel for the defense and prosecution, are you ready to begin? The defense is ready, my lord. The prosecution is more than ready. Oh, Kazuma-sama. I've been wishing to see you in court again for so long. It feels... But I never pictured it happening like this. I never thought I'd be facing you behind the prosecution's bench. The so-called Reaper of the Bailey has been a scourge like no other, undermining Her Majesty's justice system. Today, we must uncover the truth behind the scourge. In other words, this trial is going to be a lot more far-reaching than Inspector Gregson's murder. The truths revealed by these proceedings may have unpredictable repercussions through the judiciary. Accordingly, they are to be conducted as a closed trial with no members of the public present. By Her Majesty's direct orders. How will that work, my lord? The burden of all arbitration and adjudication falls on my shoulders. Therefore, as you will see, the juror's bench shall remain vacant today. So, do we not do the summations? If no members of the public are present, might I ask who is currently occupying the gallery, my lord? They are members of the judiciary, here to witness proceedings and ensure an equitable trial. Members of the judiciary? Mikotoba's up there. Oh my, this is a very unusual trial already. And Sholmes is up there. There's of course another unprecedented aspect to these proceedings on which I must elaborate. The counsels for the prosecution and defense are both aliens of Great Britain. I believe it takes an outsider to see the truth sometimes. And as I stand here in this courtroom now, I'm quite certain this is the reason why I had to come to Britain. Kazuma? Very well, let us commence proceedings. Prosecutor Asogi, your opening statement, if you please. Certainly, my lord. The incident took place on 1st November, just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The location was a building of flats on Fresno Street on the outskirts of the city. The victim's body was discovered there in an old, single-room rental property. Yes, Inspector Tobias Gregson, a name known very well indeed in this court. Not least for his miraculous resolution of one of his country's grimmest cases 10 years ago. The Professor case. How sure are you about the time of the incident? Several witnesses on the street outside heard the gunshot, and all have reported the same time. Yes, that's what Gina told us too. There were a number of witnesses. I have here a plan of the room. Okay. The room did not seem that big. The victim was found curled up in one corner. It's believed that he was shot from the front at point-blank range and died instantly. How has the range been determined? The gunshot residue must be on him or something. There are scorch marks around the entry wound. Oh, there you go. Such marks are caused by the gunpowder used to fire the bullet. But powder hot enough to leave scorch marks is only ejected a few inches beyond the end of the barrel. In other words, it only happens when the target is at point-blank range. I see, yes. Thank you for the detailed explanation, Counselor. Autopsy report? Okay. The murder weapon was found lying beside the victim. And have you managed to ascertain the owner of this firearm? No, my lord. No, not conclusively. Bravo, Kazuma-sama. We're not trying to use the gun as evidence when its provenance can't be proven. Furthermore, my lord, as I've explained, the revolver was fired at extremely close range. The bullet passed through the victim and struck the wall behind him. There's a candelabrum mounted on that wall, and the tip of one of the candles in it was found to have been blown off by the projectile. We noticed that too, didn't we? My question is, shouldn't there be, like, gunpowder on Von Zeke's hand, then? Yes, that's right. Thank you for the thorough report, Counsel. The setting of the crime is clear to me. You will submit the plan of the crime scene as evidence, please. As you wish, my lord. Crime scene floor has been added. Okay. Is this Fresno Street room Inspector Gregson's private abode? No, my lord. The room is rented to a Mr. Hugh Boone. There it is. There's precious little furniture inside, and it is generally in a poor state of repair. So what on earth was Gregson even doing there? Presumably he was investigating some case or other. When a policeman was informed of the gunshot from the witnesses and rushed to the scene, he found only the deceased inspector and the accused standing alongside holding the revolver. The attending officer arrested the accused on the spot. He was holding the gun? Come on! Why do prosecutors keep holding guns? So the details of the case are clear. In that case, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. A name, please, counsel. Naturally, the accused himself. Lord Von Zeeks? As a prosecutor, he believes in the oath of office he has taken, and will be compelled to tell the truth. Very well, let the defendant take the witness stand. Yeah, we'll stop there. So, next time will be this. We'll save there. And my voice will be different. I forgot how much milk affects your throat. Affects your voices. I forgot that. Which was a rookie mistake, to be honest. But also, I don't normally do this after breakfast time, so my B. Alright, so that's it for now. I have fun up if I'm watching. That's what's all about it. Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.